Hello my friends, I am online, I'm live. Welcome. Happy to have everyone here on stream. Let me just bring down the music a bit. Whoop. Okay, let me double check my audio levels here. So, how does it look like? So, welcome to everyone joining from Twitch. Oh my goodness, the camera is right in the middle. Welcome everyone joining from Twitch and on YouTube. Audio's perfect, that's great. That's great. I was just trying to give Alexander some nozzles because he was the first one to greet. I'm not sure why this is not working. Just let me double check my stream commands. Yeah, this should be working now, hopefully. Let me see. Is it now working? No, it's not working. Why is it not working? Dang. Ah, why is it not working? Save it. It's not working. Strange. Let's try again. Let's try again. Give. So give. Give points username. Okay. Give. Do I really have to type this stuff? So let's try one more time. I'm also learning. Here we go. You only have 0 nozzles? I'm administrator. Oh my goodness. Hey, I have 0 nozzles. Okay. Why do I not have any? I can't grant anyone nozzles for free. I don't have any. Like, can I give myself nozzles? Give Daniel Crosslink 1000. Not working. I know how to do it. I know how to do it. Set. Yeah, guys, I'm learning. So I think I can set some like what's the command? Yeah, I want to welcome everyone. Lol. Daniel is learning how to use the chatbot. And I got a weird, like the table is very low, so the camera is either it's super low or super high. So now I'm standing and super low, and I'm sitting super high. Why? Because we don't have so much space here. We want to see the printer, and I don't want to like do it like this, right, when it's up here. So this should be fine. This should be fine. My studio is a complete mess, by the way. I have to, at some point in the next couple of weeks, I need to clean it up. So there's so much stuff. I was first. Okay, I'm gonna give you both nozzles as soon as I figure out how to do it. Oh my goodness. So I have to figure out how to set the level to the uptime. When, yeah, we're gonna figure it out. Super moderator. I think I should have figured it out. We can do it. I'm gonna remember. You need to remind me at some point. I might be the first to join, but Nick was the first to greet. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Thanks for the honesty. Want to welcome everyone. The usual suspects are in the stream. How many people are currently watching? 15 on YouTube and only one person on Twitch. Is this possible? No, it's not possible. There's probably more people watching on Twitch, right? Twitch is lying to me. It says it's only one viewer. Is this possible? No, don't think so. These are 2 people on Twitch now, right? So how is it possible? I see 1. Yeah, so I want to remind everyone who's on YouTube, watching on YouTube. I appreciate you watching on YouTube. Totally fine if you watch on YouTube. I'm slowly transitioning the live events to Twitch. At least, I mean, we are always going to be live on both channels, basically on the Twitch channel and on the YouTube channel. But I have all my bots and all the stuff, all the giveaway, and we're going to have a little gambling game going on. We just have to figure out how to do it. But all of that is running through a Twitch bot, and it's not working on YouTube. Unfortunately, it's not working on YouTube, and it's super difficult to synchronize the stuff. So it's not working. So it only works on Twitch. And so you can come over, watch the stream on Twitch. I think the bot is going to tell you from time to time, the YouTube bot. We have a YouTube bot, but that's going to tell you, I think every 10 minutes, going to give you the Twitch link. Because how it works with the giveaways on the channel and all of the future giveaways, the longer you watch the stream on Twitch, the more nozzles, which is the virtual, like, honestly, or loyalty points that we have now. And I think you're earning every 5 minutes you get 10 or something. I think it's like the details are somewhere in the. But you, like, basically you get a certain fixed amount every like 5 minutes. You get new nozzles granted, and you can like basically spend them on the giveaways. And you can basically decide which giveaway you want to join. So you don't have to spend everything, but you can like basically put all of your nozzles into the pot. I'm gonna show you how to do this. So if you want to like spend all of your nozzles, you say ticket max on Twitch, right? So ticket max, I don't have any nozzles, so obviously it doesn't work for me. But if you have watched the stream on Twitch for a while, preferably you do this at the end of the stream or when you're about to leave the stream. Just enter ticket max beginning with the exclamation mark, and then you basically put your nozzles into the pot for the current giveaway. But if you like, you probably should check out what it is. Currently it's a 3D printer that I never used, the Lotmax ST10 Shark. It's a dual color 3D printer with an optional laser module in purple color. It's a special color. I think it's super hard to get this printer in that color. So yeah, you can basically just decide, do I want to join that giveaway, or do I just want to keep my nozzles for the next giveaway? Because you know that my studio is super messy. I just honestly have too many things here that I don't use anymore, so I have to give away some stuff. And I'm also selling some of the 3D printers because yeah, I need some budget for upcoming projects. For example, the back wall of the studio. The back wall of the studio, I don't know if you can see it. Like maybe you can see the little panels here on the top here. These panels, I'm gonna print. I'm currently printing all these panels. I'm building this filament wall here, and this is going to continue all over the back of the studio wall. And like you see here in the corner, this is the filaments area, and that's what almost finished. I'm just having to do some, I think, of the lower panels I still have to cover. Honestly, I don't want to see the wooden wall anymore. I don't like it so much. It's kind of, as we call in Germany, Hütten style. I don't like the Hütten style so much here. And the previous owners of the house basically have put this kind of wall panels everywhere. Some of them are painted white and some of them are covered with drywall, but basically this is like the style of the house. That's where we bought it. So I'm covering the back wall here with these kind of panels. So that's what I'm doing. And that's for example, that's also not very cheap. Because I think I just spent $300 on filament just for the gray panels, which is a little bit crazy. Yeah, if you don't call it a mess, I don't know. You don't see the full picture. You don't see everything, right? So you see only part of it. The problem here is that I don't know. I've changed the layout here so many times now, and I moved into this new studio that I had for a while. Then I moved back into the basement. But the reality is that when I moved into the other studio, which I have now given up, I also purchased quite a lot of stuff to have a few things in both places, which turns out now, coming back, I have a lot of duplicate things, and it became a little messy. Yeah, but we want to unbox a printer today, right? Rules of the game. We want to do this without spoiling too much. I didn't use this printer before, and you should basically give me a ping in the chat if something's going in the wrong direction. I think this was super helpful last time when some people helped me with some problems I had with the other printer, figuring some stuff out, whatever that might be now. So I think if you paint the back wall, it's gonna change the look massively. It's totally right. In the other areas of this basement room, the room is basically twice as large as you can see now, right? So it's probably I don't know, how many meters from here? Maybe 8 meters by 4.5 meters, roundabout, or 4.5 meters left and right, and 8 meters in this direction. So there's a whole other area behind the camera. And I'm also trying to empty that space so we can have maybe a second set or something, because I've plenty of stuff that I could do there. Let's open up this printer now. The Creality K1C. Want to be honest with you, this printer has also been sent to me by Creality. So in a way, you could call this a sponsored stream, but honestly, we're always going to be super honest here, right? If something goes in the wrong direction, I'm going to point it out, right? So there's nothing to hide. I heard good and bad things about this printer. Seems to be kind of an evolution of the K1, and some little changes in with the nozzle and stuff. So there's not so many changes. I mean, it has obviously is able to print some other materials, so carbon fiber. By the way, I have to remark, just have to figure out where did I put the Creality filament that I got from Creality. We're gonna figure that out in a second. So they sent me this printer. We're gonna take a look if it works and how easy the setup is. Yeah. There were times when I bought some things again because I couldn't find the ones I already have. Totally can relate to that. I did this too many times. Too many times. Okay, let me check out this. Yeah, this is currently not the direction we want to look. I think this is the best view for you at the moment because it's so huge. So we got a manual. Obviously, we have a little manual here and some stickers. If you're a fan, probably gonna appreciate that. And we have a little top cover. I've seen this. I think the difference between the K1 and the K1 Max in general is that the K1 and the K1C, they have this little bulging out top cover, and the K1 Max is completely flat and supposedly has a glass top. So I would, like, if I just would judge or have my personal preference here, I would say I would like the look of the K1 Max more because it's more like one box with one look and no additional top covers and stuff. So let's take a look from above if this is possible. Here we go. Here we have it. There is, I don't know, maybe we should take it out first completely and then do the next step. So the top cover I'm not using at the moment, at least. Maybe later. We should probably take it out. Question is, does it have any grabbing points here? Can I take it out without destroying something? Probably not. It's not so easy. Just trying to figure out if there's anything that I can use to pull it out. The other alternative is we open the box at the bottom and then just remove it like that. Let's try to pull it out. Let's see if we can find a good place to grab it without. This is actually a metal frame, so I probably shouldn't be afraid. There is, but the thing is that you have the linear rails right underneath this. How heavy is it? Maybe just put it to the side. Pull it out. Yeah, that works. But I don't want this massive box here. Maybe let's put it here out of the frame. Okay. That wasn't too complicated. So here we go. The K1C. Interesting enough, it has these rubber feet already attached here at the bottom, probably dampening some of the vibrations. Super important, here we have the voltage switch. We need to double check that before we, please remind me that we double check the voltage setting before we turn it on, because if you do this in the USA and it's on 110, or if it's on 230 in the USA, not too bad because you just have under voltage. But if you do this in Germany, we have 230 volts, and if it's on 110, probably it's gonna destroy the printer. Okay. Lift using the back, yeah. I think I think that it was easier to tilt it and then pull it out. It was like pulling it out is still quite heavy. So let's see what we have here. Some additional stuff. What is this? This looks like the screen. Yeah. A filament spool holder and probably some other tools. What's in this little box here? Oh yeah, we have this usual tools, glue stick, pliers, clipper. Okay, looked at this later. Let's take a look. Don't need that, hopefully. So, sample spool, I'm gonna leave that in because we're not using this. I think we're gonna use the material that they sent me. The question is, where did I put it? Where did I put it? I think I have it, put it in my rack. Gonna take it out. We have plenty of other material here that are suitable for this printer. So much other stuff here. We have, here we go. Yeah, we have all kinds of stuff here that we can use. ABS. Here we have the Creality stuff. There we go. No, we have so many materials here that we can try out. Doesn't really matter. The difference between this printer and the other models is essentially that it can print abrasive materials. Abrasive means you have any kind of mixed in particles like, oh, that's greasy. Particles like carbon fiber, basically carbon fiber is probably the most popular one, but even these wood filaments, timber fill, for example, we have some of this material here, this filamentum, that's basically a mixture of plastic and wooden powder, is also abrasive. And if you print these kind of materials on a normal brass nozzle, it's going to wear out the nozzle pretty quickly. So after a couple of prints, it's going to be, your nozzle diameter will basically increase and all of the calibration is going to be off, so printer isn't going to be behaving the same way. Just taking out all of the packaging stuff here. So much. Yes, it has a hardened steel nozzle. That's why it's called K1C. Like, there's two sides to this. One is it has a few little changes. I think I've seen some video from Creality where they say the nozzle change is a little bit easier now on this printer. They have made some minor internal changes to the hot end. I have no answer in terms of how that affects the compatibility of previous nozzles for the K1 to this printer. So probably we can look it up and see, do the K1C, the K1 nozzles and the K1 Max nozzles still work on the K1C? I have no clue at the moment. So it looks, at least like just looking at this from the back, it looks very similar to the Sprite extruder, but maybe it is still a tiny bit different now. And the access to this whole housing seems to be also a little bit changed. But besides that, you're right, it is a hardened steel nozzle, and it has, like, the reason is that it is supposed to print more challenging materials. But besides that, the differences are very small. So it's like the evolution, I would say it is a combination of a different nozzle on this printer and a little evolution forward from the K1. So I wouldn't call it a K1 version 2 or K2. That's probably not the case here, but it's a little bit different. And some things are supposedly a little bit improved. But these are minor details, right? So it's more like, yes, it can print more challenging materials. And the other thing is that I was kind of surprised about the pricing on this for this printer. It's rather cheap, right? So if you compare that with with other printers, it's not as expensive. So I think it's fairly affordable still. But the K1 Max is way more expensive. So let's remove all of the plastic. K1 Max is, yeah, still thinking about K1 Max. I would personally also be thinking like the print volume on this printer. You probably need to check it out. What is the K1C, the data sheet? Let's take a look what exactly we have here. So, just trying to bring it up to you on the screen, if it works. So, where do we have it? Here we go. Extruder kit with quick swap nozzle. Yeah, that's probably the difference here. We have a little bit of a different setup here. Besides that, it's still the Sprite extruder, but the nozzle design is a little bit different. Here you can see it. I think that's the main difference. The K1 nozzle is a screw-in nozzle because you have a thread, and here with the with the K1C we have a little bit of a different nozzle swapping system, right? Yeah, so that's the difference, and that is a hardened steel nozzle. So we have these little changes. That's what I wanted to know, remind myself that this is not compatible with the K1 nozzles. So like from the outside, if you look at it, it's like if you look at this part of the hot end when it's assembled, it looks the same way. It looks also very similar to the Ender 3 V3 KE, but then if you look closer, you see there is a difference here, and it's different way to change it out. Now we have another auxiliary fan blowing on the printed part, and yeah, supposedly better cooling. Still, I'm looking for the, why is it not mentioning the print volume anywhere? But I think it's 220 by 250 or something. Can we find it? Yeah, can we find it here? Doesn't tell me. Can you look it up? Post it in the chat. I think it was 220, 250, but we can also measure it. That's the only, yeah, it looks like. It's a little bit smaller. It's a little smaller than the bamboos. So we can take a look here. Let's take a look. I'm gonna use this camera here. Yeah, so it looks quite interesting to set up. Interesting enough, we have the printer itself, or the print volume is very much unique in a way. So if you look at this from the front, let's take a look here. That was surprised me when I saw the K1 announcement, and oh my goodness. So when I saw the K1 announcement, I was rather surprised that Creality has chosen this kind of build volume instead of going for the bigger print volume. I mean, they have the K1 Max obviously, which has a much larger volume, 300 millimeters. But like if you look at the bamboos, they have 256 or something, or 2/3. No, what was it? I think was it very weird. 256 by 256 cubed basically volume. Creality has a, what's this? Rubber protector here on the corners. Okay. Here we're gonna mount the screen, obviously. We have other protector here. So the volume of this build plate is obviously a little bit smaller. So if you compare that to the bamboo, it's a few centimeters that we're missing here. That's the bamboo lab, and that's the Creality, right? So we have 220. Now what I don't know is how much of the print area we are actually gonna be able to use, right? The problem with the bamboo lab is, though, if you know it, or if you have ever used it, there is a little area here in the front on the bamboos that you cannot use normally if you do not modify your 3D printer. So this little cutout here, or there's nothing drawn here, but you should know that the actual print volume is reduced by this little corner here. And that's, I think it's about 2 centimeters in, like, I think 3 centimeters in this direction and 2 centimeters in this direction. So actually you have something like 220 by 225 or something. And that means it's very similar, right? So these are not that different if you consider the actual usable print area. That's what I also personally forgot sometimes when I put stuff on the bamboo and wanted to print something that is bigger, that you have to modify the printer so it doesn't run the print head into this front left corner, and you have to, like, a slight modification. It's nothing serious to do, probably a thing that you can do in a couple of minutes, but it is not, and that was always a little bit surprising. By default, you cannot use the full build volume on the bamboos. The A1 might be different, because it has, actually the A1 has a bigger usable print volume from the start, because there is no such thing as a filament cutter that's in the corner. So the door is now Uncle Jesse safe. So we have a little carbon filter here. We can just put that. Wondering, I think it's just a thing that plugs into the back of, on the back of the printer. Up. Yeah, this is the direction. So there's a little. There's a spot here on the back where you can insert this carbon filter. Now, since I put it in, I cannot put it out anymore. Oh, here we go. So this is carbon fiber, activated carbon, but I don't know how effective that is. Probably not super effective. Probably is more effective if you put a hose here and, like, pull the air out into, basically out of your workspace. Essentially, that's what you should do. Honestly, I had quite a lot of printers now that have these kind of carbon filters, and honestly, they are not very effective most of the time, right? They probably reduce the smell, like, effectively a little bit. But how long does such a filter stay effective? And then you still have lots of stuff in the air. When you print ASA, I think if you've seen, was it the Modbot, or I think there was recently a video. I think it was either on the Modbot channel or on 3D. I have to look it up. You can figure it out. I think there was a video recently, and that was quite interesting. Where this guy talked about all the different materials and problems with materials, and that he had, like, severe health issues after printing ASA in this workspace, because he didn't have ventilation, and he was, like, literally coming into the space and immediately had, I don't know, swollen eyes and headache and breathing issues, because he was, like, exposed to this for quite a while, obviously. And that that tells me also, like I have been printing ABS in this space here, and it wasn't very good. It did smell, and opening the windows partially helped, but still it is material that is generating some toxic, maybe potentially toxic fumes, and you should not run this in your bedroom, obviously. And if you run it anywhere where you're constantly working and breathing, you should ventilate properly, right? That's just the fact, right? There's no way around it. You cannot really help this. It's just as it is. So we have to prepare the printer a little bit more now. By the way, everyone who is just joining, I want to welcome you to the stream. We're unboxed just the K1C. And yeah, please let everyone know what are you looking for, like what are you interested in, where you're coming from, and maybe you also want to join our Discord server, because we have a community of 3D printer users there. You can ask questions. The question is, like, I hope always that we have a lot of people that also can answer questions. So if you're like also kind of an expert, or at least a little bit advanced, I would be happy if you come to the Discord server and also look, like, if there's someone asking a question that you might be able to answer, because I cannot obviously answer all of the questions. I don't have all the printers that people might have. So yeah, consider joining. Nico, probably need testing a couple of iterations to get it right. Different combination of material, also isolations. Yeah, probably. It is, as soon as you enter different materials like carbon fiber materials or ASA, ABS materials, if you start printing these kind of things, then you have to take care a little bit more of yourself, right? It's just about that, right? Your health is most important. So you should be taking care. So, do I need the manual? Do I need it? Where did I put it? I think we should be looking for all of the specific points where we have to unscrew stuff, because I already saw in I think I watched another video where there was the unboxing was already like kind of done in the video. There's a couple of screws that are securing the bed, and we should fix that, or we should unscrew the right ones at least. Double checking in the manual that we didn't forget anything, right? We've moved all the plastic foam covers. Camera still has a little cover foil. Just saw that. A little one. And actually surprising that it has the camera, because I had the impression that this didn't have the camera. Anyways, I think the K1 doesn't have the camera coming by default, right? The K1 has an optional camera that you can order. This seems to have the camera built in already, right? So if you look here, there's a little corner. In this corner we have the camera, it's the front corner. That is interesting, because that could mean that we also have AI in this printer, right? Let me see, what camera am I using? No, that's not the one. Here. Still want to figure out a little bit whether this is the best setup for the stream. You guys, I'm still learning in terms of streaming. So what is Alexander putting here? But being only advantage steel nozzle as to being more resistant to abrasion, I don't see 3D printers manufacturers will put too much development into it. I'm considering getting the steel nozzles. I can print carbon fiber nylon, but parts I need to print are so small that speed is not important. Yeah, it's a niche. It's probably a niche area. One of the reasons that you probably want such an enclosed printer in general, nothing like specifically, not really specifically this one, but like generally why you would want an enclosed printer, potentially it is a little bit more silent, right? If it's done right. I remember when I got the Bambu Lab X1 Carbon, the thing was, it wasn't silent, it was super loud. Actually at that time, I had just upgraded my Ender printers to new main boards with silent drivers and like did all of the software tweaks to make them silent. And the X1C was the loudest printer that I have had. So that was kind of unfortunate. Now it has become a little more silent with the latest firmware update, because they are trying to apply the same noise reduction features to the existing printers than they had on the A1. But coming back to this one here, do we have, like, we probably want to add the spool holder to the back. We want to attach the screen, obviously. So we want to unbox it. Remove, yeah, before applying power, please check the input voltage. This is the last reminder. Okay, let's not forget about that. So we're plugging in this little cable here. Just hopefully not too difficult. My friends, can we get it in? This is the right orientation, hopefully. Please, please. Don't have me break this cable. This is fiddly, honestly. How is it so difficult? Why is it difficult? Is it turned around? Am I not seriously, right? Oh, I've swapped it. Oh, I see. I've swapped the screen. So for the stupid users like me, it's not possible to put it in the wrong direction. Now we can slide in the screen. Come on! Let me slide in the screen. Come on! Don't make it so difficult. Don't want to break something here. Is that ready enough? No, obviously not, because I cannot open the door anymore. So, I hate it to do things with force. It's not good, because if you're like unlucky and you're gonna break the cable or something, why does it have to be so much force here? I see. Now it's very close to the corner of the glass panel. There's not much space here. I think we have it in the right position. Yeah, that's okay. Should be good. Should be good. We're gonna keep this. We have a little handle for the glass door here, which we also obviously wanna mount so we can open the glass door. There comes a tiny set of screws. Is this, yeah, there's a description for this here in the manual. Install front glass panel door handle. Okay. This shouldn't be so complicated. Good. What kind of screwdriver do we need? Okay, we need a hex driver. My friends, how are you doing? Totally. Interesting enough, I think that E3D, because your name is contains also E3D, Alexander. I think E3D has created a nozzle for this printer, if I'm not totally mistaken. So they kind of have joined the ship, and I think they're creating some nozzles for the K1C, E3D, K1C. I think there is it? It's 100% sure. I think today I was on 3D Jake and I was reading something about E3D nozzles for Creality printers. Could be. Could be an interesting thing. Can't find it at the moment. But I was also surprised that E3D is joining a lot of these manufacturers now, building customized nozzles for those printers, which I think it's positive. It's actually something that I do like, because first of all they make great products, and then they have yeah, I mean, there's seems to be that the printer manufacturers aren't actually afraid of joining forces with E3D, because they probably don't see it as a competition in any way, which is, I think, is positive, right? So we have other options. So let's install this door handle. Right. Oh, no! Please not. Come on. Let's not lose the screws. Okay, let's start with one then. It's probably better. So, the right screwdriver, yes. So I like these screwdrivers a lot, because basically they're like a little bit, I think they have a ball head, so you can also use them from different angles. That's why I like them so much more than these usual Allen keys. They make assembling stuff like this so much easier. And you have this little wheel here at the end, so the moving part makes it also easier. So nicely done. Here we go with our door handle. What else are we missing? Probably a couple of spots where we need to remove screws. Connecting and power. I can't believe that there's probably a few spots where we have to remove screws. Is not in the manual, is it? Why? Remove power cord, remove the chain, finally take the gray foam, blah 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 blah. We did the door handle, the carbon filter, the screen, the spool holder, connection and power on. Seriously? Yeah, I see. Last step here. They want to turn on the power before removing the screws. Yeah, it seems to be part of the setup procedure, that it is mentioning explicitly in the menu that you need to remove the screws. Maybe let's do just that. E3D in my name stands for NFV that I have. Coincidence. Nice, nice. So, how are we doing? Is everyone happy? So we're making some progress here. I think we're almost there. We just have to turn on the printer now, plug in the power. And we shouldn't forget to check the voltage settings, my friends. You didn't remind me. I was almost plugging in the cable, right? So let's see. Let's see. This probably not too easy to see that. I need a flashlight. I want to do it here. Is it set to the right voltage? Is it or not? And yes. Yes. Here they have the labeling correct. If you remember, there was recently a stream from 3D Printing Nerd where I think he was doing Elegoo Max or Neptune 2 Max or something, I think. And then he was like struggling with the printer not running, and the labeling of the power was like completely switched. So the switch was labeled correctly, but there was another label outside or over it on the printer and not on the switch, and that was like completely reversed. And then that's why like the printer didn't boot, or it was constantly running with under voltage. Again, this can happen in the US, it's not a problem. Here in Germany, you're basically destroying your printer if that happens. Anyways, we're turning on the printer in a second to get the rest of the setup done. We need just some power here. And according to the manual, I didn't miss anything yet. Except maybe removing the plastic foil from this cover. So my friends, we have the top cover. Does it fit? How? That is a very interesting question. How would it fit? Because there is... Here we go, there's a little cutout. Okay, that's good. I was just wondering, it wasn't fitting, but here at the end, at the back, there is a little cutout. Good. For printing PLA, this probably can be taken off. Like on other printers, you should have the door open when you print PLA. Why? Because printing PLA will create a higher temperature inside of the chamber, and then the filament might actually not cool down as you would like it, as fast enough at least, and that might cause your prints to fail, or at least overhangs are not going to look great. So that's why for PLA explicitly you should not close the printer completely. Let's figure out which filament you want to use now. Just checking where I put these Creality filaments. We have Creality Hyper PLA, which is the usual, the PLA that comes also with the KE. I think you're probably not so super interested in using normal PLA on this printer. We can do it. We can probably do some test prints, but this is white PLA. I would not do this with white. We have Hyper PLA here from Creality from the KE test printing. Where is it? Here we have a little bit of a rest. I think it's a little bit better to use the blue one, which because it has a little more contrast, especially if you want to see it in the camera. And we have Hyper PLA. What is it exactly called? Hyper PLA CF, right? CF carbon fiber enforced filament, which prints at 200 to 230 degrees Celsius at a bed temperature of 25 to 60. So essentially this is PLA enforced with carbon fiber. Why would you use that? I mean, that's a question that you like really have to answer yourself. What kind of use case do you have for the filament? PLA, carbon fiber PLA specifically, has no, like, besides that it might be a little more rigid, it has a completely different look, right? So like from a visual point of view, it has a different look and feel. That's probably why you want the carbon fiber also. It's not only about the physical like resistance or the rigidity of the result, but also the look and feel is different. So that's why a lot of people are maybe want to print this. The carbon fiber PLA, but I also have carbon fiber, the carbon fiber filament from Bamboo Lab here, which is I think a ABS carbon fiber. That's the combination of a rigid, shock-proof material with carbon fiber to combine these things. That might give you other criteria, like that gives you a little bit of a shock resistance, and then also like more stability. But each material has different parameters, obviously. So I would say this is probably not the material that I would use if I wanted something to be temperature resistant, in a way that you want to heat it up and have something that you're exposing to heat. Like ABS is more resistant to heat in a way that this doesn't bend. If you have something that's under force and it's heated up for some reason, it doesn't bend that easily, so it bends at a higher temperature. And this is probably not the material that's gonna prevent that, right? So it's more like, it has a nice look and feel. Let's take a look if you wanna see it close up. It has a nice shiny look, right? It has this typical carbon fiber look. So we wanna definitely test it out and see how a result with this material looks like. But again, choosing the right material is, like, it shouldn't be only about the visuals, right? It should also be about the actual printing parameters and the use case that you have. Voltage check, we did. Marco, thanks for reminding. We want to know how loud it is. We can double check that. I can tell you. I also have a, not sure where I have it. That's the problem with the mess in my studio. I don't know where I have my loudness meter. Yeah, everyone tries to copy Bamboo. Yeah, I agree. This is really weird. So let's turn on the printer and let's see what happens. It's booting, so that's a good sign. We have the right voltage, my friends. We have the right voltage. I want to see what's happening here. Let me see. Can I bring the camera a little closer? Friends. So you can see what's going on. The language selection. Now I would obviously select German. No, not just kidding. Let's use English. I could completely confuse it with German, right? So you wouldn't be able to read anything anymore. We probably need the screwdrivers again. It tells me remove the screws A, B, and C according to the location of the yellow arrow. So there's 3 screws inside in these little pots. There's also some yellow stickers here, for example, and we can probably remove them. Yeah, we can remove them later. My goodness, the screwdriver is falling. Let me take it a little bit closer. So, what size do we need? Probably 2 millimeters. Yes. That's also the advantage of having a labeled screwdriver and also magnetic. So if you want to do yourself a favor, honestly, if you buy any kind of tool for any kind of printer maintenance, get yourself a good set of screwdrivers, hex ball head, because it makes so many things so much easier, honestly. And I don't understand why we still ship Allen keys with all of the printers. I mean, Allen keys are in basically every printer manufacturer ships Allen keys. And I can't imagine that. Why can I not get a screw out? It should come out, but it's not. Here we go. It can't be that expensive, right? How expensive can such a screwdriver be? And I'm not affiliated with this brand, right? And this is, I think, it's a Swabian, Swabian German company, and they make great tools, and I like them. So maybe they become a sponsor at some point in the future. I don't know. So I think it's like safe to remove these. I mean, I can also keep the stickers on, so I don't care. Remove the screws and okay. Welcome. So we can probably put it back a little bit so you can see the screen. I don't know if you can read it. It's probably too far away still, but I'm going to tell you what's on the screen. Welcome. Please keep the blue cube in the diagram clear of debris and click OK. There is some foam underneath the print bed still. Privacy. Okay, set up your network. Okay, we have some network stuff going on. Probably don't want to show you my network key, at least. So, gonna be obviously not showing you this. So, studio network is good. Fine, next. Okay, so we have time zone, CET, next. International, blah, 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 blah. So you want to bind this now, and I can explain what's happening. I have my Creality app installed here on my smartphone, and in the last stream, someone was funny enough to like catch the moment where I exposed the barcode or the QR code on this printer in the stream, and actually tried to bind the printer to his account. I realized that later, but I also realized that it might only be possible if it's not yet bound. So, but I'm not taking the risk. Okay, so bind blah blah blah, we're binding it. Okay, let's scan it. Come on, do it. Okay, next. K1C. Okay, start. Welcome to the self-check. Please place the printing platform. My goodness, tongue breaker. The self-check process is expected to take around 11 minutes. Okay, let's keep the next 11 minutes waiting for this. No, seriously, we wanna just see what's happening. If this is something interesting. Start detecting. Do not touch the printer during the self-check. Okay, so it's doing some kind of heat up process and all kinds of probably vibration tests, stuff like that. Let's wait for this to finish. Probably not super interesting. So we can talk a little bit about other questions. Alexander, Vera Tools. Are you living in Germany or is this just coincidence? Yeah, the ball head is sometimes not the most ideal. I agree. Sometimes you can have problems. 550 kilometers from Germany, Alexander. Okay, I see. I think I remember. We've been living, I think, we've been in the Netherlands and Bosnia. Okay, I was mistaken, honestly. I can't remember everyone. So let me see what's wrong with this camera. Didn't we have the B cam here? Yeah, we had B cam cropped, A cam cropped. Okay, so we're waiting for the printer to finish. I think I should take out the foam. There was nothing in the menu about that. But it's just in here. We can just take it out. Probably not a big deal. Even if we had it still in, I think it's probably not going to be a problem. I'm the one of 2 people posting Amiga stuff. Yeah, I remember. That was actually a surprise to me that people are interested in retro computing. Actually, I want to show you something. Should I show it to you now? It's a little distracting for the others, but I've just got my old PC out today. I just wanted to see if it's still working because I had it in the, I think I had it in the shelf for a couple of years now, and I was afraid that the battery would run out or something, but still turns on well, runs well, and it's a computer in basically a keyboard computer. Like if you had ever such a computer, it's one of the first PCs that I've personally had. Let me get it. And I was lucky that I didn't throw it away. Oh my goodness, we have some noise going on here. So we have the usual noise going on. This is the computer I'm talking about. So if you know what I mean. Original Schneider Euro PC. 3.5-inch floppy disk drive integrated here, and has, I think, 720 kilobyte storage for the floppy, and I think it's 640 kilobyte RAM. So 8088 processor. Still working. Just tested it yesterday. No, that's the kind of other stuff that sometimes I'm doing. The problem here is that my old screen, the CRT, the Hercules graphics screen is not working anymore. So I'm currently looking for a replacement to get ideally an original Schneider screen, which is a Hercules monochrome monitor that was originally with this printer, with this computer, and then I've put a VGA graphics card in, so I can still use it on a VGA monitor. Just throw away Windows 3.11 on 10 3.5 floppies. I'm not sure. I think it won't run on this computer, honestly. I think it is not powerful enough. So, what about the input shaping is still running. So this is input shaping and an auto leveling. I assume we're still not there, so we take a couple more minutes. We can double check if we can actually see the camera already. Is that working? Curious. Is this already working? Although the printer is doing a self-test now. Oh, I think not. It's probably not working when the printer is doing a self-test. And I shouldn't touch it probably because of the vibration tests, but the camera seems not to be working yet, at least. But maybe later, maybe when it's finished. Let's see. So what is happening right now? So there's these, still doing the vibration testing. GoTech floppy drive. Yeah, I was struggling a little bit with getting a floppy drive. I have a floppy drive. After testing out a few different from Amazon, I was finally finding a floppy drive that actually supports the double density disks. Because I always found only the drives, or I had only gotten the drives that have the 1.4 megabyte, so the HD. And they can't write the double density disk for some reason. They just don't support it. And then finally I found one that does work, and I could also copy some apps to the disk. So it works, right? So we can play some, like, I don't know, we can play Pac-Man and Arcanoid. I think I recently tried out Arcanoid with the internal IBM speakers, which was quite a fun. Anyways, the printer seems to be, I think now it's cleaning the nozzle tip. Something like that. And what else? Final step, doing the leveling. I guess it's now doing the auto leveling. The GoTech, yeah, maybe. I'm currently fine. It's working for me. Yeah, thanks for the tips. I think we're gonna have some more discussions on the Discord server about the retro stuff. Well, I was the thing that I was struggling. I was trying to find an adapter that works, that converts the HDMI, or that converts the VGA to HDMI. I had myself a couple of adapters that convert HDMI to VGA, but not the other way around. So, need to fix that. Congratulations, you've received 100 messages today. Thank you for chatting so much. Thanks for the engagement, I like it. We don't want to hijack the stream with retro computing topics, right? But I like it still. There's so many things that are interesting to me. The biggest problem is time and focus. So, what is the printer doing? Is it now leveling? Yes, seems to be leveling. Oh, what's that? Why is it pushing the... You didn't see that, obviously. It was pushing... It did push the cover off. Why? Why does it push the cover off? That's a little strange. Honestly, that is strange. Why does it seems like this cable chain makes a weird curve here. The only reason why I can imagine why this is happening is that the PTFE tube is, I don't know, is it too short? Let's do some experiment. We're gonna pull a little bit here, so we straighten that out. It seems like, I don't know, if I'm pulling the PTFE tube here into the back, here's the filament sensor, right? If you can see this is right here. If I pull the PTFE tube into the filament sensor and put it in, then we have this weird shape here. So it's currently covered. So it has this weird shape and it's a little bit under stress. See that? So And that was pushing against, this was pushing, right? So it was pushing the cover off. It was just like lifting it up a little bit, pushing it to the side, and then was sitting like that. And I think this is too short. Might be that the PTFE tube is a tiny bit too short. So now if I'm stretching or if I'm pushing this, on the other hand, I'm not sure. Because if I pull it a little bit, let me try again. Let me try this. How do we, like, how much can we pull, and where can we put it? I think it still shouldn't push off the cover, right? I imagine we just try this one more time, see what happens. I'm not sure. I know there were issues with the PTFE on the K1 that you needed to pull it out of the chain. Maybe. It looks, it's a little bit under stress here, and you see the chain makes a weird curve here. That's because this seems to be too short. Or maybe it doesn't have to be inside there, but also if you don't put it inside of the chain, it might rub against the top. That's what I was always a little disappointed about with the Bamboo Lab, that the PTFE tube is like, if you don't modify the K1, oh my goodness, the X1, or I think even a P1 is, if you don't modify the outlet to push the PTFE further down, or you lift the top glass panel by printing some additional bracket, then it's always rubbing against the glass top. And it's over time, I can confirm, it's getting thinner and thinner. You can see that, you can feel it. So it's really flat now. So, and I tried to fix it with kind of a bracket or like an arm that is attached to the print head that forces the PTFE down. I think I've tried different materials, 3 different materials. It broke 3 times. I don't have the perfect solution yet. So bang in the right place. I think we have some, I don't know, we could also use a hammer. That would be the answer that I was looking for. But that didn't come yet. You can use a hammer. What's going on? Is it done? Is it finished? Self-check completed. Okay. New version of the firmware. Let's download. Okay. Let's do this. Let's have the firmware update running. In the meanwhile, I want to fix this thing here. Because I think actually, I had a nice rounded corner thingy. Overlays. No, looks a little bit nicer. We have just a tiny bit of a rounded corner here. What is overlay? So, printer is still updating the firmware. What is new features? New features with this version. LiDAR, motion, advanced, reconstructed. Only K1 Max. Why do I get an update that is for the K1 Max? Is this a good sign? I have no idea. So what we should check, like the door is open now. I can switch over to another microphone that probably represents the room noise a little more. So let's try 1 and 2. 2 microphones here. Yeah, it's pretty accurate actually from the loudness perspective. Now it's over. Silent now. No, that's pretty accurate. So door is open, so it's the fans are pretty loud. Well, let's see how loud it's still when we have door closed. So I want to check the next step. It's rebooting, and probably we want to reinsert some filament. And presumably we want to add some glue stick here, because this is not my preferred. That's one thing, honestly. My preferred type of print surface is not this kind of plastic built textile surface that we have here. It's not these kind of rough surfaces that we usually have on newer printers, on other printers. This type of surface is more suited towards the higher temperature printing, but you should always, after the upgrade, please recalibrate. Oh no, are you serious? So you forgot all of your stuff, my friend? Seriously? After a firmware upgrade? You're forgetting everything? Oh, this is not nice. This is unfortunate. But yeah, we don't wanna make any mistakes, right? We wanna take it serious and say, okay, if they tell us that we should do the recalibration, what can we do, right? We should do it. But I'm saying, glue stick is something that you always should apply if you are printing on these kind of plastic surfaces with high temperature. I would even say that even with PLA, it's probably still the better choice, because on other occasions I've seen these kind of surfaces just get destroyed because the prints are sticking so much, not to say like crazy. They are sticking like crazy, and you can easily destroy, if you have something bigger going on printing, you can easily just pull this off, right? And it's definitely going to be a good, it's always a good choice here to apply the glue stick. That's why I always change to other build surfaces on all my Ender printers. I've since this is the same print size, it's probably, I could just take my Ender 3 PEI coated sheet and put it into this printer. It shouldn't be probably not a problem. The K1C is just slower, and even it's not working. Is that the upgrade? Yeah, nice joke. And I still have the microphone on, right? So you can still hear the noises. Much more than before, obviously. And the plate doesn't have the nozzle wipe. I don't know why. I don't know if you can have some settings in the Slicer software that tells, like with the bamboos, you have to select the right printing surface for every single print, so you can choose the cool plate, the high temperature plate, the coated plate, the satin, or what's it called, like PEI coated. There's 2 different coated plates for the bamboos, so you can select these, and then it's gonna have different settings. The temperature settings are gonna be different, and also the calibration settings are gonna be different. Some of the plates don't support the LiDAR, and some of them do support the LiDAR. And here it's probably similar, that for different plates it's gonna be a little bit different, hopefully. Good. And you're right, the Ender plate doesn't have the nozzle wipe area. There's this little, yeah, this is like a brush or something on top of the plate, That's a little different than that's also different versus the bamboo. The bamboo has a little like a little notch, or how's it called? A little extension of the build plate, a round flap that's a little longer to the back, where it's rubbing the nozzle. And this printer doesn't have that. It has a little brush or something that's looks like a little bit of a rubber rough surface, and that is probably shouldn't do this while the calibration is happening, but this right here. See that? Here we have this little rubber brush thing where the nozzle can wipe over, and that's probably why. Oh, this is really sitting firmly now, and that's why you probably cannot use the ender plates. It probably works. I don't know. If we can turn off this nozzle wipe feature, maybe other plates will work. So, what is happening? It's done with the vibration tests. Is it? Screen is blank. Now it's doing the auto leveling now. Okay, let's wait for that. Now we're gonna see which kind of test files they have on the printer. And we want to print something in carbon fiber. Maybe want to print something that is... I had the idea to print a laptop support in carbon fiber, because I think that would look great on my desk. On my other... In my office I have a MacBook, and I always wanted to have this kind of laptop support where it lifts it up and has kind of an angled position, and that I think that would be perfect for a carbon fiber test print. Display off. Yeah, display is turning off. Probably something that you can set up how long it takes until it turns off. By the way, I want to see like how many of you did switch to Twitch already. Like how many of you are now watching on Twitch? Twitch tells me 4 people are currently watching on Twitch. Still not too many, so you're kind of resisting this, right? So you don't want to. Most of you are watching on YouTube. I think 31 people are watching on YouTube and 4 people are watching on Twitch. Totally, I mean, I'm not forcing you to do this. I'm just telling you. Let me turn off the microphones. I'm just telling you that when you watch on Twitch, you can get loyalty points. You can earn loyalty points just by watching. You basically just get them depending how long you watch the live stream. And to not miss a stream on Twitch, you can just go on my Twitch page and subscribe or follow me on Twitch. You get the notification the same way as you get the notification on YouTube, so you won't miss a stream. But the advantage is you get the loyalty points, you can spend your nozzles, those are the loyalty points. And you can also check how many do I have, right? If you want to know how many nozzles do we have, you can just say nozzles, right? And I have 0 nozzles, still have 0 nozzles, so I'm not earning nozzles on the stream, but maybe someone else can just hit this command and show us how many nozzles you have. And I think I also have a command to show like the leaderboard or something. I still have to figure that out. I'm just playing around with this since a very short time, and I'm not sure. Top. Yeah, we can use top. I think if you can also do it yourself, right? Not sure. Let's try top. Top. Available commands. Top points. Top 5 nozzles. You see? This is the leaderboard on Twitch. Now, this is not, and it's, my stream is kind of, oh, why is it, what's happening here? It's not quite, it's eating frames. Why is it doing that? What's my computer doing? Computer is eating some frames. I don't like that. That is a problem I sometimes have, that the frame rate drops. It's not dropping frames exactly, but the capture card is kind of getting slower for some reason. At some point, I think at some point it catches up again and the problem is gone. Now I think it seems to be gone. Sometimes it's just slowing down for whatever reason. So, what was I saying? You can. The quality on Twitch is probably lower. Yeah, might be. I don't know. I haven't seen the. Like, I'm watching the stream. I'm having the stream open on Twitch. It looks clean to me. It's in both cases it's still 180p, 1080p. So it's not higher, because to stream in a higher resolution I would need more bandwidth here, and we don't have enough bandwidth, so we only have bandwidth for 1080p. And you can try to switch it to a higher resolution on Twitch, honestly. Should work. If you do it manually, check it out. If it doesn't work, then Twitch is probably maybe limiting my resolution, because I'm not a Twitch affiliate or something. I see. Maybe it's because I'm not a Twitch partner or something. The thing is, that's a chicken egg problem, honestly. If you help me to become Twitch partner by following me on Twitch and still watching on YouTube, or maybe watching on Twitch is better. Watching on Twitch is better. If you become Twitch follower on my Twitch channel, and I'm at some point passing, I think I need 40 followers or something, I don't know exactly, or 50 or something, which shouldn't be a problem if you consider that we have 67,000 followers on YouTube now. And then I can become Twitch affiliate. Then hopefully they will also unlock higher resolutions, and then they are also working on something else which is which gives even more encoding bandwidth. So I think that would help me a lot, honestly, because 7 streams in 4 weeks and 200 viewers over the stream to get affiliate. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I need to stream more. But definitely that's my plan. And I don't want to do it because I want money from Twitch. The thing is that I think Twitch has more options and is a little bit more, let's say, usable for streaming in general. You have more some interesting features that I like more. And especially the bots are, at least what I've seen, those bots. No, we don't want to do this calibration again. Bots are better integrated with Twitch. All these loyalties things and stuff is better integrated. So we want to max out the screen brightness here for the camera. Screen off. No setting. We don't want to turn the screen off. That's good. Root account information. Interesting. Root account. I think we can log into the Clipper software, which is an interesting option. And we probably have some test files here. But we first need to insert the filament. So it looks like a very similar screen setup in terms of the visuals. It looks very similar to the Ender 3 KE, which is also a Clipper-based printer. So it looks very, very similar, honestly. I mean, it's a little different, but it's generally the UI reminds me a lot of that. Camera, settings. We can probably also turn on the AI function. AI detection is in optimization. First layer detection, printing pause due to failures. Yes, So we can basically tell the printer that it should turn off or pause the print when it thinks that, no lighter, okay, when it thinks that there is a problem with the print. And that's very similar to the KE. The KE has very same menu and probably uses the same cloud services. So extrude retract. So we can now insert some filament, and we want to put the carbon PLA in. Just want to put it first into the spool holder and then insert the filament. Oh, my clipper. Should I unbox this one here? Is it still the good old blue clipper that we get with every single printer? Yes, it is. This will never change, right? These things will never change. It's always the same thing, the same clipper. Okay, let's put it in. Feeding in the filament. This is just pushing it in until it reaches the nozzle. The thing with this, this concerns me a little bit. Honestly, this concerns me a little bit. I want to show this to you. Pushing in the filament is super easy until we come to this very point here. When I reach this point here, there is lots of resistance because the bending radius is super small. You can't see this now, but it's more looks like this, right? So because it's you're looking from the top, but the bending radius here, when it goes into the extruder, is very small, and so the resistance here is increased quite a lot as soon as the filament crosses this point here. And the PTV is too short, right? It's definitely too short. This looks weird, honestly. We can get a different one and replace it. Maybe we should. The thing is also, what I also realized, when pushing in the filament with this bending radius so small, then it also is, I don't know, it's not easy to push it through to the very end. I can probably pull this lever here. There's a little lever here that we can pull to open the gears, to release the gears. Now it's in. There is some resistance. I hope this is enough. We're just gonna do it. We're just gonna pretend we don't know anything about this. We extrude. Honestly, you have to think about the customer, and the customer is gonna be not only experts, right? You guys here in the chat, and me included, we know a lot about the 3D printers. But on the other hand, there's also customers that have no experience, and they expect something like the Bamboo or any other simplified 3D printers that are coming out of the box, and usually the expectation is that it should just work, right? And I have no idea if this is true for this one. It's not 100% working. The K1 series are like press and print. I agree, and it should be. Is it grabbing the filament? Yes. So I didn't have to push it, right? So I pushed it to the point where I couldn't push it further in, and then now it seems to be grabbing. The question is, can we use one of the samples? Can we use some of the sample model, extruding finish? But the weird part is where here is probably one of the worst places to do this, honestly. Why? Not a good place to do this. Okay. Can't really reach it. It should be in the front here, right? So good. We have extruded. I think we're good. We can take a look. Is there anything mentioned here in the menu about the material that was used? Good question. Logo barrel base. I don't know what that is. A barrel base. Hyper PLA. This is a super fast Benchy test, but I'm not sure if we should print a super fast Benchy with carbon fiber. We want to print something in carbon fiber that makes more sense. Honestly, you know me, I'm always printing a Benchy, but maybe not today. Maybe it doesn't make sense to not print a Benchy today. So I suggest that we go and open Creality Print and enable this printer, or use this printer in the first place, and then we are going to print something that we really want to have, right? I have something in mind. I want this laptop stand, and why don't we just go and print that? Because I think it would look cool in carbon fiber. So let me show it to you. That's what I was thinking of. Laptop stand. It looks pretty good because, I mean, basically I think I have that laptop. I think my laptop is exactly that model. So if we had that in carbon fiber, and it's completely printable, and it has 3 different parts. So we have left part, middle part, right part. Probably this would look pretty cool in carbon fiber, right? And we also have to put the glue stick on, right? Maybe you don't want to print carbon on it. Why? Why not? On what? On a K1. Yeah, because of the nozzle. We should put on some glue stick. Maybe just bring down the print plate to the point where we can do this easily. Let's bring it down more. Okay. So the idea that I had was really printing some kind of laptop stand. I'm not 100% sure if I want to print this exact. If you have another idea, this also looks nice, but the problem with this one is it is a little too low. I wanted actually a higher one. This is very steep. Could work, but I also like the idea of this other stand here that I found here. The thing here is that it has this. You can put a keyboard underneath, right? So you can just push the keyboard underneath. I think it's actually pretty nice to have not have any like supports here in a way. It's of course it's a little. I'm not sure why the design is that way, because it has this little like, why is it not completely using all of this here to be more rigid? But maybe it's also not a problem. But I would say let's print one of these just to have something that makes sense and that I actually want to have. I don't want to print another Benchy now. We want to see this thing coming to life. So we have. I think I'm gonna use this one here, and we want to put it into Creality Slicer. We want to see if we can we find our printer already. Let me see. We have device. Device list is empty. Why is it empty? Why is it empty? I'm not logged in. Really? Is that true? Scan QR code? No. Okay, maybe I need to log in. Where's my index? Can I use this? Can I log in using the app? Scan. Me section in the app. Scan icon on top. Okay, let's do this. Still an empty device list. Why? Why is the device list empty, my friends? Oh, it's not. Why is it empty? You can add devices, guys, by scanning. I mean, on my account, I have 2 devices now. And I had my Ender 3 KE here. Why is it not working? Ah, there it is. There it is. Okay, well, we have it. Maybe it's just a network thing. So, the printer is here. Yeah, I'm not printing a Banshee tonight. I'm printing this laptop stand. We also could use the model library, but I don't want to. So we want to use this left part first. Where is it? What? Why are you not loading this? Where is it? Ah, it's a G-code file. Oh my goodness, why is it a G-code file? No, I don't want a G-code file. I want an STL file. Let's try again. Model size exceeds the printer's maximum build volume. What? No. Probably because it's not, you have to rotate it. That's gonna be a close call. Oh my goodness, it's not fitting? Seriously? Why is it so huge? Oh my goodness, this dude has designed it for non-standard print volume. How is it putting it here? He claims that it's printable on the Prusa. Maybe. The Prusa has a pretty weird print volume. It's not, I think it's not rectangular. It's more like, or it's not square, it's like rectangular. It's a little wider. So not the one that I can print on this printer. That's unfortunate. I don't want to scale it down, right? 250, yeah, this is the problem. This printer has a smaller build volume. We cannot use this. This is not nice. I'm not happy. I wanted this so badly. Why? I mean, we can scale it down, but then it's also lower. I want a laptop stand, my friends. I want a laptop stand, and ideally I want one that supports the keyboard underneath. We can put the keyboard underneath. And I don't see one that does have this. And they all are kind of same, because like this one is maybe an exception. I'm not sure how this is working. Is this multiple parts? This looks weird. What has this person done? Who is this glue stick? Or is this, has it been glued together? This looks like something that I want, but split the model into pieces with slicer. No, thank you. No, thank you. Okay, it seems to be a little harder than I was expecting to find something that works. It looks very much that we have 2 options. We can use this and scale it down so much that we can use it. Maybe I'm just gonna try that. How long is it? My laptop is probably, it should still fit down. Okay, this is 220. I think we could live with a little shorter version of this. The question is how much shorter can we use it? Let's just make sure we have something that fits. 223 is probably not fitting yet. We can rotate it. So we need to look for the percentage values. We want to pick something that is an even number. Please know that we can use it on all of the parts later. So we want to rotate. Let's see, maybe we can fit it now. Is it better this way? I'm not sure. That doesn't really work. I think it's better we just make it so it's straight. Can it now fit automatically? Where is this? Move it. Can you do this for me? Center? Yeah. So it seems to be right fitting just into the print volume. There's a little bit of a space here, like a little bit of space left and right. It's 90% of the size. And then we want to do some settings here. We don't want to use the Ender 3 V3KE. Why don't we have the new printer here? Yeah, it's not here. I see. Yeah, we want to use the K1C. Add. Nozzle is 0.4, I suppose. Hyper PLA CF. Normal print settings. And we want to change a few things. I want to use an infill that is, we want to have some advanced setting. We want to use some infill, I think honeycomb, which makes it look a little cooler. We want to use no top and no bottom layers. Right. And how many walls? Probably more walls. We want to use preferably more walls. How many does this person suggest? Probably something like 6 or so. 3 layers. Okay, that's optimistic, but maybe the honeycomb helps. Maybe let's use 3. Yeah. Okay. Don't save. That was confusing for me also when I tried Creality Slicer for the first time, that you are kind of tempted to hit save here. Which is totally misleading, honestly, because I don't want to save these settings into this profile, right? I don't want to overwrite the profile. So what line width do we have? That's a good question, because you mentioned this, Zarant. We have a line width. Where is it? Prusa. Is my Prusa slicer? Minimum wall line 0.3. Why is it not 0.4? Minimum wall line 0.3. Why would you select 0.3 minimum? Why not 0.4? Yeah, let's keep it. I mean, this is a profile from Creality. It should be working, right? They should have put some time in, hopefully, to do this. Material. We don't need support on this part here. I think we're good. Let's try, but we're not saving. This is the weird part about this program, right? So yeah, we can search. I mean, line width, oh, that's width. Search minimum wall line width. Like, why is it minimum and only minimum, right? Was there not something like default? Here we have the extruder 0.4. Okay, that's okay. Okay, let's keep it. The weird part, though, the weird part is if I hit save now, I'm saving this to the profile. I don't want to do that, and cancel is also kind of misleading, right? Because look what happens if I'm closing this now. So I'm not hitting cancel and not save. What would you expect to happen? Would you expect these changes to stick, or would you expect the changes to be lost? If we go back, changes are still there. So it's like, it's weird, right? Cancel is not, cancel doesn't cancel your changes. It just cancels the dialog. It closes the window, but keeps the settings. Save would put them into this profile, which I don't want. I could, if I did, reset everything to default. But honestly, if I had something saved that I wanted to be saved, it would also be like overwritten by the reset. It's kind of unintuitive. Honestly, it's very bad. That's why I would always try to, like, as soon as possible, move away from Creality Print and move to something like Orca Slicer, Prusa Slicer, Bamboo. I don't care, any of these three. And please not Creality Slicer. Good, let's slice it. Let's see what comes out. Okay, does this look right? Is this what we want? Seems okay, because we have the honeycomb pattern. The only thing is that I want a little bit less density. We should reduce it. Reduce rules, how much? Infill percent, maybe 5%? No, we don't want to save. Just want to have something that is, yeah, this looks much better. Is there a brim? Yeah, don't need that. Yeah, we don't need a brim. We don't need a brim. Where is it? Support. Is it under support? No. Shell, maybe? Why? Skirt brim speed. Yeah, that's always good that we have a setting that's called brim and we have no way to disable it, right? Enable bridge. Where is this? Shell. You see, it's rather, I mean, honestly, maybe it's just me because I'm used to use other programs. I don't know, where is this brim setting? Support, no. Material, why should it be here? No. Cooling, no. Extruder, seriously not. Hopefully. Print, auto brim, here we go. None. Okay. Slice it. So this is good. This is much better now. This is much better. Should we just go and print this? I'm for it. 2 hours. Probably not gonna wait for this to finish, but we're gonna see the progress. So we're now selecting a printer here from the list and say one-click printing. I mean, we did lots of clicks, honestly. It's not one-click printing. That's only the last click. Last click printing, maybe. Not one-click printing. Okay, printer is starting. So I want to close the lid. Obviously, want to keep it closed. Probably also want to keep the, we did forget something. One thing that we did forget. Stop it. Stop. Can you please stop? I did forget the glue stick. I don't want to print without the glue stick. Honestly, I don't want to destroy this print surface right from the start. So we take it out. Probably the best, easiest way to do this. And the door is not opening very much. So we want to apply glue stick here just for our own safety in terms of we want to keep this print plate as long as possible in a good shape. So I'm going to apply the stick here, a thin layer. I am not a huge fan of glue stick, but it works. At least it's doing what it's supposed to do. The only thing is that you have to wash the surface from time to time with soap to get it completely off, and then redo everything, redo the glue stick. That's the only thing, right? We have to do this from time to time. Depending on the surface temperature, you probably have to do it every single time. So it's in this case probably not, because we are printing PLA with carbon fiber, but if you print something we have 100 degrees and we have something large, probably the whole glue stick is gone after one print, and you have to do it over again. So it's done. It's not complicated, right? So just have it on. It just needs to be covered, right? It's just nothing too complicated. So let's put the surface back on. Nice, nice, nice. File. We still have the file here. We can just go and print it. And yeah, what I will do, let's keep the door open because then you can see what's happening, otherwise you can't see. Bring the camera a little closer. And that's gonna be this perspective for you. You should be able to see most of it. Yes, mostly printing PETG. Why is anyone, honestly, PETG? Yeah, I was printing a lot of PETG, but at some point I got so annoyed by the material. I mean, it's probably not bad, but it's also, I don't know, the properties of the material, like I didn't find a good reason to use it for most of the stuff. It's kind of flexible. It's a little bit flexible. It has this tendency to do a lot of stringing. Honestly, most of the prints that I did with PETG have a lot of stringing going on. Even though I'm trying to tune my settings, but it's always having more stringing going on than PLA, obviously. And then it has not too many things that I'm interested in, honestly, right? So that's why I switched to ABS. And I think there was some at some point ABS was very much out of trend. It was not like trendy in a way that no one was using ABS anymore. But now it's coming back. I think ABS has a huge comeback, right? There's so many companies offering great ABS now, really good quality, and specifically like ABS mixtures that are less likely to warp, even stronger, and in really interesting colors, right? So now I think ABS has a really strong comeback now, at least for me, because I'm using it quite a lot. How loud is this compared to your other printers? Now with the door open, honestly, it's pretty loud. So let's close the door. With the door closed, it's actually, let's wait. Let's wait until it really starts printing. Right? It's currently only doing the bed leveling. But I can tell that the motor noise is definitely louder than on other printers. And that could be one thing that Creality can improve, probably just with a software change, because it has been proven that it has been done already, right? I'm sorry, I have to refer back to Bambu Lab printers a lot, but Bambu Lab recently just introduced via a software update a massive decrease of the printer noise of all of the printers, right? Every single printer here is so much more silent now, just because of a simple software update. Now that has pushed off the lid again, right? That's because of the PDF tube being too short. Like it pushed off the lid. That is concerning, actually. I mean, what can we do now? We can just keep it off and not use it. It shouldn't be a problem, but because it's PLA, but it's also much more loud. So yeah, but I was just saying, it has been proven that it can be done. The problem is now, since the firmware, so the software that runs on this printer is Clipper, and it is based on the open source Clipper. If you would like to implement this kind of motor control that has a noise reduction, I don't know if Clipper does have that, honestly. I'm not so deep into these kind of details yet with Clipper, but I don't know if Clipper has this kind of out-of-the-box functionality to reduce the motor noise by calibrating the printer for the lowest amount of motor noise. I have no idea. So I think Clipper probably doesn't have that yet, or maybe there's some kind of plugin that can do it. But the problem for Creality is now, if they would like to replicate this kind of behavior or feature, they would have to contribute to this open source Clipper version. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense, right? Then otherwise they couldn't call it open source anymore. And then on the other side, it's also very much something that makes this printer so unique, or would make a huge difference, that I'm not sure if I were developing this for this printer, and let's say there's nothing in the market, no software that does it for Clipper. I don't know. But let's say there's no open source plugin for Clipper that does give you this exact feature, and you develop that, and that gives you a huge market, huge opportunity in the market. Why would you open source that? So, and if you have to do, if it's GPL or something, and you are like, you're kind of forced into this and say, I have to make it open source so everyone else can use it, maybe you're not going to do it at all, right? So this is the difficulty here, because they have not the full control over the software. They chose to use the Clipper. Bambu Lab chose to say, no, we're not going to use anything open source here. We just develop our own operating system for the printer. It's not open source. Nothing is public. So we have full control over everything now. And Prusa is also doing this. Well, you see where the problem is. Is there something on the front right lead screw? Well, I think the thing that you're seeing here is this little yellow sticker that I didn't remove from the place where it's pointing towards this little thing here, and it's grease. And the other thing that's on the lead screw is a little bit of grease, but there is also this yellow sticker behind. But that's not an issue. It's not interfering with anything. Yeah. Let's wait for this thing to start. Now, since we cannot use the top lid because of this PTFE tube, we can also open the door, right? So it doesn't make a difference. Okay, doing the first line here. And now it's putting down the layers. What I will do, I will take this part here, this laptop stand. I will try to hold it, or just trying to match it to my laptop if it really works, if it's big enough still, although we are now using a smaller build volume. If it works out, I'm gonna print the other parts as well, but if not, then I'm probably going to have to design my own, maybe a little bit differently shaped, so I can fit it into the print volume of this printer. Let's see how it comes out. But it looks like it's doing at least a good first layer. So the first layer seems to be fine. We can also bring it a little bit closer now. Until we hit the point where we're coming off this table cover. Let's get closer. So this is as close as I can come with the camera. So the first layer looks fairly good. Pictures on Discord, yeah, I'm gonna publish the result on Discord, yeah, for sure, and also on the YouTube channel. I'm gonna put it in the community tab of the YouTube, so you're gonna see it popping up there. Probably the guys here that are subscribed on YouTube, you will get a notification about the pictures. But you can also just go on the Discord server. We're gonna have a channel for... Do we have a channel yet for the K1C? That's a good question. If not, we should probably create one, right? In the Creality section, text channel, the K1C. We can also have one channel that's for K1, K1C, K1 Max. So we have one channel for the K1 series printers, or K1 series, which is called K1 series. So we can have one channel that is covering all of the K1. Here we go. So I'm gonna post the images there. So after the stream, you can see the result. Now it's speeding up, right? So we have passed, I think the first 2 layers are done. And now it is speeding up. Yeah, that looks much faster now. Only thing that we need to make sure that the camera is still focusing right, but it seems to be good. The whole table is now starting to shake. All my cameras are shaking. But it seems to be fairly silent, and honestly it's not so loud. If I'm turning on the microphones again for you, it sounds okay. This is interesting, is that the initial noise level from the bed leveling was actually louder. Maybe it is actually driving the motors are a little bit different now. That's not too crazy. And we have like the top lid open, the door is open, so the problem is I can't close the top lid because of this PTFE tube being short. It's always pushing off the lid. So that's enough noise for me. But it looks good, right? Doing a pretty good job. And the first layer was coming down. We didn't do any. We didn't have to do any calibration. This little line here on the side also looks nice. So it did a good job to calibrate the first layer. Another question I want to check: can we now see the camera? We want to find the printer in the network. And we can also switch. I can show you. This is the clipper screen. Essentially, this is a fluid. The Creality slicer does nothing else but opening the fluid, or it's like Creality's version of it, in a tab here. So we have the printer tab here, and then we have the printer detail tab. It's essentially just the HTML page from the printer, and it shows you the camera in the printer and also the current temperature and stuff. Probably very similar to the KE. Once you have access to the root username and password, like you have it here, you can get the root user and password for the Clipper software on this printer. You can most likely, didn't try this of course, but on the Ender 3 it was fairly easy to do, to install Mainsail as an alternative interface. Mainsail has one huge thing that I like, or also the native fluid probably has the same. It shows you not only these kind of things here, but it also shows you much more detail. It shows you, for example, the current extrusion, the flow rate, the acceleration, and the print speed, which is all not shown here for some reason. I don't know why Creality is not showing these kind of things, because they are all there, right? So they should be accessible. But anyways, like this is what you see from the internal camera. So I also turned on the time-lapse function, so I can post the time-lapse also on the YouTube channel once it's done, so you can see how that looks like. It should do the time-lapse. And yeah, let's switch back to the camera. That's what you get out of the box, right? So you get this camera, you get the clipper installed, you get auto leveling, auto calibration. I mean, besides a few things, a few screws and a little bit of unboxing and setup and networking, logging into your Creality account, this printer is not requiring anything severe in terms of maintenance. But the PTFE tube problem is something that I definitely need to take care of, right? The question is, if you buy this printer, what you're buying, K1 or K1C? I think the major difference, we've talked about this in the beginning, the major difference between this and the K1, there has been a few slight changes, and the nozzle is definitely different. So it is a non-standard nozzle, so it doesn't have a thread like the K1 has. So it is like a one-piece nozzle, where the nozzle and the hot end throat basically is one piece. Like, for example, with the Revo, the E3D Revo is a good example. This is similar, and supposedly these nozzles are usually more expensive because they are like, you are replacing more material, right? And the Prusa has also the same, right? Prusa has also this one-piece nozzle. So supposedly these nozzles are a little bit more expensive. On the other hand, how often do you change the nozzle? If you like have this kind of hardened steel nozzle, which is supposed to last a lot longer, probably this is not such a big topic. And then you have the camera. So I think the price value on this printer is not so bad. It's actually quite good. So like, I would probably make this choice and say, I'm more the person that prints something abrasive, tries other materials. The thing is, if you go with this printer, you can always do this, and you always, like, you have the camera, you have the AI. With the K1, you basically have the same printer, which is a little bit older and doesn't have these minor improvements that already have flown into this printer. And you don't get the abrasive material nozzle, you don't get this one-piece nozzle, which is probably easier to replace and also less likely to do clog. So maybe the answer to your question is yes, maybe yes. If I had to make the decision, pricing is actually quite good for this printer. It's not so expensive. Yeah, the only thing is that the build volume is, that's the one thing. You can see it here in the front. The build volume is not that great. I'd say it's not a step forward in like any direction. So if you are used to using this Ender build volumes 220, and you're fine, and you say I don't need something bigger, then this is probably the right choice. Otherwise, I would straight go to the K1 Max, right? Because it is bigger, but it has the same. It has the camera. It has improvements. Probably next generation. Then it's probably the better choice. It's more future-proof in a way that you can print bigger things, right? If you any place want to print something that is beyond 220, like my laptop holder idea was already at risk, right? So it was already not working at 100%. So I had to scale down to 90%. And I'm not sure if it's gonna be working. So I have to check that. That's the kind of downside that we're dealing here. And there was a question in the beginning, I think someone asked, should I get, well, where was it? Let me see. I think someone asked if I should get a Voron, something like a Voron instead. I mean, honestly, getting a Voron instead of this is a completely different story, right? A Voron is, I mean, it's bigger. It's probably bigger. You can get a Voron up to 350, and you can also get it in any kind of size, right? You can also get a Voron that is 400 or 500. The frame is just bigger, and most of the parts should fit, and you just need to get longer rails and stuff. But a Voron is such a huge project. This is a completely different story, right? Yeah, it was you, Sarah, and I didn't find it. So the thing is, Voron is like, if you have the experience, if you are ready to do this, and you say, yeah, I'm ready to invest, I don't know, a week of work total into building and printing all of the parts, assembling, setting up the software. And I mean, every Voron is different. You have to make so many choices. You like, unless you get a complete kit. But honestly, even a complete kit, there will be always like this one or two things that you don't like. For example, if you get a cheap kit from that's not from LDO, there's going to be a nozzle probably that you don't like, right? Or there's a hot end that you don't like, or there is, I don't know, a mainboard that you don't like, or anything that you don't like. And then it's already starting customizing. You're putting in different hardware, you're putting in different this and that, and then you start basically creating your own printer. And it's okay, but it is a completely different story. Like there's nothing out of the box. There's no pre-configured stuff unless you have luck, and it's basically the same. But it's really a lot of work, and that's why I will definitely build a Voron at some point this year. But I'm ready for it. I'm personally accepting that it's going to be very challenging. So again, if you want something that works out of the box, you need to get one of these printers. There's no way around, right? Yeah, and yeah, it's like if you want to put it in the living room, maybe it's more like a furniture. It looks nicer. The Voron looks so much more like a nerdy thing, I would say. Agree. The problem with printing this, I'm not sure if it's a good idea to print. I mean, this material has probably some dust coming from the printer, but I'm still here, right? I'm gonna leave the room very soon, going to bed. But I'm gonna post the results, and keep you updated about things. Formbot has good kits, yeah, and I was also looking into the Rhetoric. Rhetoric is a completely different. I mean, it's not Voron. It's a different printer. It looks similar, and there's probably some similarities. But Rhetoric, I was interested in Rhetoric mostly because I think Rhetoric in general, if you order the kit and you're doing some of the stuff yourself, right? The Rhetoric is probably a little bit cheaper. You don't compromise on the quality though. Like, don't get me wrong, but the Rhetoric has a little bit more flexibility, and like you can go there. You can customize the Rhetoric kit already to your needs and say, maybe I want a 500 size, or I want a 400 size, and I want this nozzle, and I want this hot end, or I want this power supply, I want this and that. So you don't have to buy a kit where you have to throw away 50% of the parts, right? So you can really customize. That's what I liked about the idea of the, maybe it's just me, but I liked it a little more. Yeah, a closure upgrade if you need it, right? But you can also, the Rhetoric idea, I think it's like, let's say you cannot spend the money right now. Let's say you have a certain budget and say I can start, and I'm gonna buy the bare minimum, and I'm gonna like do it step by step, and then maybe in a couple of months I'm gonna afford the enclosure kit and stuff. Maybe it's a little bit more in that like budget friendly. But yeah, that could be an option. Okay. Friends, I want to say thank you for watching. Want to say good night, goodbye. It has been a nice couple of hours with you. And we're gonna see the results tomorrow morning. So I wish you all a good day, a good night, a good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Good lunch. And we'll talk soon. We'll talk soon. Next week, most likely next week we're gonna continue with the V100 build. So this super custom 3D printed 3D printer. And we're gonna continue with the build there. I'm gonna announce the date and time as soon as possible, as soon as I've got my schedule done for next week, and we're gonna see each other. Bye bye. Stay healthy. Don't forget to buy tickets with your nozzles. So say ticket max only works on Twitch. I don't have nozzles yet, but if you're watching for a while on Twitch, you can now basically put your nozzles into the basket for the giveaway if you want. If you're not interested in the giveaway yet, and you want to wait for the next month's giveaway, then wait for the next month. But probably you can just watch another stream, get more nozzles. See you